Morning, Steve Reed in Chicago with the morning grain comments. Again, we're trading most of the same news every day. First of all, next week, U.S. trade representatives will be going to Beijing to try to move the negotiations along. Again, people feel that nothing will be signed here in the month of March, and still waiting for a list of things that, from an ag standpoint, that China will buy in addition to what they're buying, and see if that impacts prices, see if it impacts demand. From a weather standpoint, flooding continues in parts of the western Midwest. It's estimated that Nebraska flooding could cost $1 billion. One of every 5 jobs in Nebraska has something to do with agriculture, and so the logistics in that state and possibly parts of Iowa, Missouri, and even parts of Illinois is impacted by this flooding. A few days of dryness, but it looks like we're going to get a rain event late this week and early next week. Another potent event the following week. And so this is something that probably will continue to hamper logistics and cause some concern about planting of the corn crop on a timely basis. It's still early to talk about switching of acres from corn to beans, but I'm certainly getting a lot of emails from people wanting to know how to trade the corn-soybean ratio. Most people would be buying 2 corn and selling 1 bean in that ratio. The problem is that if we have a big rally, let's say led by some deal, and soybeans go faster than corn, it could weigh against that spread. So you have to be very careful about that. We also noted that a U.S. court ruled unanimously and found that the Bayer AG glyphosate-based weed killer to be a substantial factor in cancer. So one of the things that we'll have to be watching to see how that affects the company, but more importantly, a large number of acres of corn and especially soybeans is used as a weed killer for this. And whether that impacts yields down the road, we're not sure, but that could hurt yields here, especially on the soybean crops. And we also noted that the funds continue to increase open interest, especially in corn and wheat. They have a record short position in those markets, and we'll just see if they can carry that on in through the spring and summer. Right now, most weather people are looking for this wet pattern to continue in the spring, but there are no signs yet of any drought here in the U.S. Midwest. The trade is still looking for the possibility that eventually U.S. and world crops will be bigger in 2019 than the demand, add to the carryout, and weigh on prices into the fall. One side note is that next Friday we have a USDA report. Some farmers are looking for the U.S. corn and soybean March 1 stocks to be less than the average trade guess. They still feel that USDA is overestimating last year's corn and soybean crop. As always, these are my thoughts and not those of ADM or ADM Investor Services. Have a safe and profitable trading day.